Hello comrades. In today's video we shall be talking about very many things, but more specifically, as the title says, cowards in uniform. I shall be going over many various things of what I mean by cowards in uniform and the just following orders mentality, and how it shows and exposes just how cowardly they truly are. I will show you video from good old Grand Rapids, of which they show the protests and the curfew reinforcement. And so, with that said, comrades, here we go.
Alright, so we start out with the panning of the crowd. And just in case, you're not aware, comrades, but I was telling you about how this was in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And this is the protest, of course, about the George Floyd and his death. And this is the Grand Rapids response of police and National Guard working together to enforce the curfew that was put at the 7 p.m. mark. So, with that said and gotten out of the way, this is taken directly from Mdotlive or something like that, or the other. And they're showing the crowds and, the fellas, the National Guard with their riot shields and their riot masks and their uniforms, and how they're standing in uniformity, of course, as per regular military style. And they have their backup enforcers and so on and so forth, the guys that kind of have the better lead of them. And so anyways, what this is going to cover is the type of people that you will most likely be killed by when shit hits the fan. So what I'm saying by that is there are particular cowards like these people. I'm not saying all of them, obviously. I'm not going to be that much of a mass generalizationalist. However, a good majority of them fit the bill very well. They're in it for their own security. And the easiest way to decipher and see the differences between the guy that truly cares for his country and a guy that's in it for himself is someone who will take orders over morality. Now, what I mean by that is, in the military, there is the bigotry that's indoctrinated into you that says, you do as I say and you only do as I say. For instance, if you're told to do push-ups, you do 10 push-ups and you're done. If they say do 10 push-ups and stand up, you do 10 push-ups and you stand up and nothing else. And if you say wipe your hands off of dirt, then you're going to get in trouble for it. Now, that is like a very minimalistic example, but an effective one at that. It shows you that they are being told what to do, how to do it, and so on and so forth, without any argument or questioning it of any sort. You do your push-ups and you stand right back up. You will not look left, right, up, down. You will not wipe your hands off. You will not do anything other than what you were instructed to do. So, with that out of the way and understood now, those are the people that you really have to watch out for. So, if they are told to kill a civilian, they're gonna do it because I'm just following orders. Now that is the person that when shit hits the fan and the government's gonna take over or whatever the hell's going on at that time, that's the person that's going to kill you. That's the person that will do whatever they're told, won't contest it, won't argue it, no matter how immoral it is, unethical it is, how disgusting and egregious it is. They're the person that you need to really watch out for. They're cowards in the biggest way possible. They're only in it for their own safety and their own selfish, self-centered reasons. They don't care about you. They don't care about their country. They only care about being safe. And they know if they're on the oppressive side, they know if they're quote unquote the good guys for being in the National Guard or the United States Army or the Marines or whatever service you want to say, that because they're on that side of things that they're safe and everyone else is just a civilian, so fuck them. And it's kind of like a superiority complex in that way. And this video shows a good example of it, but nonetheless, that is the special kind of coward. So, for instance, as a true American and as a human at that, a human of Earth, not of just the United States of America, not just of northern Michigan, but a human being that inhabits the planet, human that lives on planet Earth, I will always choose morality over orders. If I was in the National Guard, United States Army, Marines, it doesn't fucking matter. If they're telling me to shoot an innocent civilian because they're not following curfew or because the government wants me to or whatever the bullshit reason is, and they truly don't deserve it, if they're not being violent, if they're not doing anything bad or anywhere near deserving to be shot, I'm not going to shoot them. Plain and simple as that. And if I have to be, and if I'm being threatened or whatever the case, then I'm going to go against my own guys if need be. This is not me saying I'm not a team player. This is not me saying that I am not on the same team or whatever the case. It's just me being a human being with morality, ethics, and just human decency. I will never allow any other human to tell me to go against morality and shoot my fellow human beings, or as they say, my fellow Americans, ever. The only way I will do so if it's absolutely life or death scenario, that I absolutely have to. If they're shooting at me, then you're damn right I'm going to shoot back, and I'm going to shoot to kill. But if that's not the case, if they're doing what these people are doing right here, I'm not going to. And if they want to try to force me to do so, then they're going to face resistance with their own training used against them type situation. That's just how I am, because I'm not some self-centered coward like these people more than likely are, being that they're not, as you'll see later on, doing anything to argue, contest, or prevent anything like that. So now that we've distinguished a self-centered, selfish coward that's been endlessly brainwashed to the point of bigotry against their own humankind, of Americans and human beings in general, and those who are truly self-sacrificing and truly signing their name to a paper of which they may possibly die for their country, for their fellow Americans, and so on and so forth. That's the distinct difference. Those who are willing to say, this isn't right, those are the people who are not cowards and in the military and in the police force. Those who just go with the motto of, I'm just following orders, those are the cowards, the brainwashed, brainless, mindless sheep that are the most dangerous to all humans, except, of course, to their own military people who are also just as indoctrinated, brainwashed, and brainless. You get the idea. Those are the two distinguished types. Furthermore, people like this, they think they're some sort of Billy Badass with their riot shields and their uniforms and their gear and so on and so forth. But in fact, we know that if it was on equal grounds and they didn't have compliance in regard to people not truly fighting back because they don't want to have more charges against them when they go to jail, that they wouldn't be as big and bad and as they think they are and all that good shit, because people would be fighting back. So what I'm saying by that is, later on you'll see these guys rushing them, hitting them with riot shields and things of that nature, and rushing up on people. Now, if I was to just rush up on somebody and start attacking them, they would fight back full force and wouldn't be compliant to any regard. Or at least I'd imagine that's how most people would be, at least the people that I associate myself with. But as you will see in this video, people will usually have their hands and arms down and they just kind of take it. They don't really fight back too much. They may put their arms up in defense or something like that, but they don't actually truly fight back per se, because they're appealing to authority, or fear, or whatever the case is. But they don't treat them like they would treat another civilian per se. Now, if they were to actually fight back, given the numbers advantage and humanity and so on and so forth, you bet your ass these quote-unquote Billy Badasses wouldn't really actually stand that much of a chance, to be quite frank with you. You can have all the training in the world, and you can wear a uniform all you want, but when there's 100,000 or even 1,000 against, 50, you're gonna lose, especially if those civilians are armed. You know what I'm saying? It's numbers game really does have its advantages, and people say about it all the time. A good example of this is in I think it's called A Bug's Life or something, where the grasshopper dude was saying, don't let them know of their power in numbers and things like that. But anyways, it really matters. And so a lot of this is just compliance. They're not actually fighting back. And you'll see that as well. So that's why I say these are people who are cowards in uniform. They don't wear it for anything other than their own self, and or they're so brainwashed, indoctrinated with bigotry, that they truly believe that they're serving their country by killing you, the American civilian, and or anyone else for that matter. It doesn't matter if you're a infant even. If they're ordered to kill you, they're gonna kill you. They're gonna kill you, your wife, your girlfriend, your fiance, your husband, your brother, your sister, your niece, your aunt. Doesn't matter. They're gonna do it. Whether you're black, Asian, white, from the Middle Eastern area, to if you're a Buddhist, atheist, Christian, it doesn't matter. They're gonna do it. And they truly believe that they are serving their country and blah, bippity boppity bullshit. They're choosing following orders over morality. So whether it's because of brainwashing and indoctrination, or if they're just a coward and they know what they're doing, it doesn't matter. They're still a coward at the end of the day. It's either you do it or you don't. Those who know better, those who have their morality still and aren't just some brainless sheep with no backbone, they will be the ones to stand up. Alright, now, here we have the police of the Grand Rapids, Michigan area and their bicycles. Now what they're trying to do here is a intimidation tactic, trying to show, numbers, and with their masks on, of gas masks, and their uniforms, they're trying to show some sort of intimidation here, and showing that they have large numbers and making themselves look bigger because they have bicycles and they're in a long line, which makes them look bigger than what they truly are. Of course, whether this has an effect on people, it doesn't really matter either way. Oh, and then we got the dumbasses that are trying to instigate something here, and then they're gonna bitch if they get hit. See, I can empathize with these police a little bit here. Just, if they're not doing anything to you, then don't fucking do anything to them. But here we go. Now things are getting interesting. Alright, yep, and the Rothschilders here. Alright, and so we got that cool guy right there, yellow or tan. He's picking up that garbage and trash. That guy, he's the real VIP. Alright, so now we got people shooting gas out. Alright, gas grenades, Yeah, on innocent people that were far away and weren't doing anything. Those are the cowards that I was telling you about before. Those are the cowards that you have to watch out for. They are what we would call in psychology, look at that bullshit. Look at that bullshit. You do that to anyone else on the streets and they'll fight back. They won't just take that. Yeah. Like I was saying before, they are the cowards you need to look out for. They're power-tripping egotists with no balls. They think they're some sort of tough guy, but they're really not. They're just a coward in uniform, abusing the power with which they have, brainlessly, mindlessly, thinking that they're doing good, while exploiting their authority. They are psychopaths, sociopaths, however you want to put it. And you need to watch out for them. Alright, so now we got these individuals, again with the intimidation tactic, with how they are stanced, their mannerisms. They're trying to be militaristic, even though they're the police. Again, this is trying to show that they're tough and they're bigger than what they really are with their bicycles and their uniforms and helmets and so on and so forth. Anyone that has any sort of covert ops training or any basic training really beyond just boot camp or specialized training will easily be able to see through that they're not really as tough as they're presenting themselves to be. Now here we have a showing of uniformity. They're simultaneously moving their bicycles like this as a way to say, we're big and bad and we're scary, and showing teamwork and things like that as they continue to try at least to show intimidation. Now I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to diffuse any potential threatening reactions, because the more scary they are, the less likely people will invoke violence upon them. Alright, coming up, here we go with this part. I remember this part in particular. This is the part that really made me shot him with that gas grenade directly. This is what made me make this video. Those three guys from a very long distance not doing a damn thing, just got shot at with a gas grenade. Yeah. Like I said, cowards in uniform, pussy wimp bitches with no balls, no backbone, psychopaths, gangsters, whatever you want to call them, sociopathic wimps in uniform, exploiting their authority, abusing their power as they go on an egotistical power trip. Oh, we're just following orders. Well, I have this opportunity to shoot this guy directly with this can of gas, so I'm gonna go do that now. Yeah, okay, Billy Badass. Let's see you do that out of uniform, out on the streets. Yeah. Bet you won't do it then. And I know you won't, and that's why I'm making that bet. Basically, these guys are bullies. I mean, seriously, you have to be so insecure and such a pussy to do that to an unarmed civilian like that. There is no reason to do that. That was uncalled for. I don't care if you're trying to be intimidating. You've already made your point long before that. Going after a mid-range shot like that after someone directly, that's just complete and total abuse of power and exploiting the situation for your own gain or amusement or ego. But either way, that pussy is the biggest coward of them all so far. And they're, again, with the whole power in numbers, trying to make themselves look bigger while setting a perimeter and coming up with plans for what they want to do and how they're going to do it. They have their own small little teams that they'll send out, I'm sure. They're not all going to go at once. Generally, that's if you're going to do that, you're setting yourself up for if there are anyone that's trained, they'll blitzkrieg the fuck out of you. So they'll probably want to send out one team, then another team if necessary, and so on and so forth. You don't put all your eggs in the basket right away, as they say. But anyways. Oh, okay, yep, alright. Look at this bullshit right here. The guy holding up a sign, and then they try to do the shock and awe attack. They bum rush this fella, and then out of nowhere go for him. And then they have their little two-man unit. And then, of course, there's other unit that was sent out to go after another person, which, again, they're using the same tactical style. They have their enforcers, and then they have the defense to protect the enforcers. Again, they're trying to use military tactics while being police, more or less. Then, of course, they're trying to keep crowd control by any means necessary, as they say. Again, just cowardice, abusing power, and thinking they're big and bad. Picking on unarmed civilians makes them feel bigger and badder about themselves. Whatever makes your penis feel bigger there, buddy. So anyways, yeah, the shock and awe technique is to demonstrate their uniformity, their willingness to do whatever is necessary. Of course, now what's happening here is there's a bicyclist that they're actually bicycling after. And they are chasing all the way down the street. He'll come back later, of course. They do eventually catch him. But the shock and awe technique is used to invoke fear and intimidation to the surrounding civilians to say, hey, you do anything and we're going to get you. And we will do so in a tactical style or a wannabe military style, however you want to say it. And of course, as you can see, it's working pretty well. Everyone is backing up, and of course they have another unit sent out, another 3-man team. And then they have the 2 guys to protect the back from there. Like I said, anyone with any amount of training, past boot camp or specialized spec op training, can easily tell you what's going on here. But nonetheless, as I was saying, it's this shock and awe intimidation technique. It's working. As you can see, everyone's cleared out. They have their long line, and people are getting more and more distance upon doing so. And now we have the bicyclist. They have him now. As I said, he would make his return, and well, there he is. Yeah, they were willing to chase him that far. They weren't going to give up on him. And they sent that many people after that one guy. Yeah, that's how pathetic these people are. Whether it's due to a lack of training, or that they're just pussies, which they are, or whatever the case. They had to send that many men, back up and all, for one unarmed civilian. I don't care if the whole motto is, power in numbers and safety in numbers. It's pussification. It's cowardice. It's a lack of actual training. Seriously, if you're that much of a Billy Badass, if you're that great of a police officer with great training and military this and that, you don't need 10 or 5 or 8 or more than 2 people to take on one other untrained, unarmed civilian. Again, as I was saying before, these are the sociopaths that you have to look out for and be wary of. These are the cowards in uniform that when shit hits the fan, they're going to be the ones with power, they're going to be the ones with the weaponry, and they're going to be the ones that kill you. And want to know why? Because they're just following orders. Yeah. And if it's not under that excuse or whatever, then it's for their own selfish, self-centered reasons. That being, they don't want to be on the opposite end. They don't want to be the powerless ones. They don't want to be the ones without the weaponry and the power to exploit and so on and so forth. So they're going to do it to save their own ass. And if it's not either of those two things, it's because they've been brainwashed, indoctrinated, and to the point of being a complete and total robotic sheep that does whatever they're told. Yep. Okay, now here we have more of this reinforcements, big and bad, power in numbers, looking bigger than what they are, bullshit. Walking in uniformity to invoke intimidation. I mean, come on, this is like basic bullshit, but it's obviously working, so I guess whatever. Yeah, this person wants to go home, but they're not going to let him go that way. Wow, I cannot believe this is actually working. Jesus Christ. And if you're wondering, these individuals that are left are just press. Because anyone who is considered a protester is not allowed out of curfew. The reason that the press get special treatment is because of their freedom of journalism and all that good stuff. They have the right to be out there to keep us informed, so long as they're not, doing anything out of line, so to speak. In case you were wondering this whole time, why it's so little people out there and why they're not doing anything to these people. It's because of the press, and they have the right to keep us all informed. So, just in case that was kind of bothering you, as to why nothing's happening, and to the other people there was. That's why. Just so you know. Alright, they're furthermore trying to gain more of a perimeter to push people back to their to the perimeter points that they have designated within their own unit. They have a predetermined place where they want everyone pressed out, and that's what they are doing, and that was the whole goal from get-go. And of course, to enforce curfew at 7 p.m. in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And of course, because the roads are closed and such, they're going to have those guys over there that are directing traffic accordingly. Because while it may be curfew at 7, people still have lives, they still have jobs, they may be coming back from work, whatever the case. And so, they're not going overboard yet with these people. It's not a full-on hostile takeover, as I'll call it. Martial law, as many others are screaming nowadays, but it's not a hostile takeover by any means. It's just the so quote-unquote protesters, rioters, that they are more so focused on. You know, if it's really as bad as these guys thought, you know, someone with their vehicle could very easily break that small 2-man team over there, scream down the road, and run right through those, that perimeter of long bicyclists down there, you know. It's exposed, but they know they're dealing with, very docile, unarmed civilians that don't really have it in them to do so. But if we were in a actual combat zone, they would most definitely have someone flying down and running into them. I can guarantee you that. But of course, I would hope that they would also have a better perimeter, better guards against such attacks as that as well. But nonetheless, we're still in America, so I'm not gonna go too off with that. So this is the limit from what I can ascertain, and they don't want anyone going beyond this line. So anyways, now you kind of have an idea of just how cowardly and wimpy and pussy these police and National Guard people really are. They don't care about you, they only care about themselves. If they're not that, then they're just so indoctrinated, full of bigotry, of brainwashing, and that they are brainless, spineless pussy. Oh, now look at this. This guy's just sitting on the bench. What a bunch of pansies. They're randomly selecting a target. What? Oh my god. Yeah. Bunch of tough guys you are, huh? Sending that small team after that one guy that was just sitting on a bench texting or whatever. Oh yeah. Billy badasses you guys are. Oh my god. I cannot get over how much of a coward these people are. Cowards, pussies, spineless, feckless, good-for-nothing bitch boys. As they say, big gun, small penis. Exploiting the situation. Yeah, you're so big and bad now, but you ain't shit when you don't have 10, 5, whatever other people with you, and with superior firepower, riot shields, and so on and so forth. You don't have tactical support, and you don't have organized training with you. It's just you, or just you and a couple other guys against people that are willing to actually fight back. Watch how badly these little pussies get their asses kicked. I can guarantee you they aren't as big and bad as they try to make themselves out to be. I saw more mannerisms and more huffing and puffing their chest out type bullshit more than I saw actual tough guy stuff. More than I saw anything else was just a bunch of guys with bicycles and uniformed and National Guard people puffing their chests out, trying to show that they're tough and they're big and bad with their riot shields and things of that nature. Bunch of little pussy wimp bitches. Bullies with badges. Bullies in uniforms. Cowards in uniform. They are nothing without their power and their authority, and Grand Rapids, Michigan has furthermore proven that. Bunch of pussies. They're nobody. They're nothing without their full team. That's for damn sure. And for the fact that they're doing this against unarmed civilians that weren't fighting back. Yeah. Okay. Whatever makes you feel bigger and better about yourself. Pussies. Jesus Christ. As you saw. Bunch of cowards in uniform. Trying to demonstrate some sort of strength in numbers and trying to use amateuristic military tactics on unarmed civilians to make some sort of point. What they ultimately did was showed how much of a coward they are, how indoctrinated they are, brainwashed they are, brainless they are, spineless that they are, so on and so forth, and that they lack balls, guts, intestinal fortitude. They're pussies, bullies, in uniform, with a badge, etc., etc. Real tough guys, real Americans, real humans, however you want to put it, know when to say no, will stand up for themselves, will face authority and give it the finger. They will stand up for what is right, and what is right is what is moral. And if you know what you're doing is immoral, wrong, inhumane, and you still do it anyway, you're a pussy. You're a bitch. You're good for nothing. You're nothing more than just a brainless, spineless sheep following orders. I cannot get over cowards like that. You're not doing your own American people well by killing them or abusing them or exploiting the situation to abuse your power. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Yeah. Maybe if I get my trumpet out and go, maybe you'll have some sort of, I don't know, flashback or something. What I'm getting at here is these are the times that you really see the shitty people for who they really are, and the all-stars and who they really are, the truly good people out there. and the truly terrible people out there. And this video showed me exactly who those shitty people are. Definitely. No question about that. It's not martial law yet, but that is a very good showing of what it may be in the future, should things furthermore get out of the control, and the less and less people that stand up within the military and within the police that are too scared. Yeah, that's right. Whether they want to admit it or not, they're too scared to say something, to rebel, to stand up for themselves. It's like in high school. If you're just one of those little bitch boys that stands and watches as the bully punches a kid, you're just as bad as he is. You're just as much of a pussy as he is. Those who actually would tackle the bully and start beating on him, or just try to get the kid out of there, those are the people that you want. Those are the people you need to emulate. Those are the real men, the real people that you need in this world, that will start the real revolution. People who have balls, intestinal fortitude, who are worthy, who are quality. Anything less than that shouldn't be around. But nonetheless, there you go. And with that, I bid you a farewell. Until next time. I can't hear you. Goodbye.